Welcome to the video, and today is gonna be the second part of my coaching series. So in today's video we'll be looking at Beegs on 8K on the map Undergrowth here. And yeah, let's just jump right in. I think here at the beginning already, you should not slow down, or you should not stand still and look back at spawn at your teammates. I think what you can do is slide her back and forth to see if your teammates are actually spawned with you. But you should definitely not be standing still like that.
Yeah, wait and spawn.
You ready?
I think it's good that he goes pillar here while the teammate calls for the wait. And actually builds up speed and doesn't stand still and wraps around pillar once and then goes in after that. That's actually good.
Yes.
I think here he shouldn't have instantly went for side or went fountain or over here. Because you know you only have one teammate on you and your teammate is 1 HP. And you know that they're probably gonna be on ult, so I think what you should do in this situation is maybe peek mid or hold mid. Because you know that nobody's on site yet. So they're either gonna come from ramp or they're gonna come from mid, and just blindly going to fountain, especially with the little speed you're having here, it's just gonna make you very vulnerable from behind. Or from mid here. And also by holding mid, you are also waiting for your team. So you can kind of just cover mid here while your team pushes up with you.
Oh, they're TDMing.
And here I would say you should never really have your knife out. I think when you spawn for the first jump, maybe the first 2 jumps, it's fine to have your knife out. But other than that, you should always hold your gun. Because especially on a map like Undergrowth, there's going to be a lot of TDMing and you're going to get spawn trapped quite a lot.
Alright, there's a guy behind me.
I think here we should build up more speed.
Yeah, one's ratting. What?
You see the red, you get the kill, that's good. But here I think instead of just walking up, because you're an AK, I think you should maybe jump either backwards or more left into mid. A few times back and forth to build up speed and then actually go in with your team. Maybe with a countdown even, if you can manage to do that in that situation. But yeah, just walking up without any communication, that scenario is not very good, I think.
I got him.
There's 2 scar.
Where should I stand when we're in here?
I think what you should do on that side, especially on AK, I mean, you are down quite a lot, but still just when you're all standing on side, you're very vulnerable. What you could do is you could either build up speed, be up back and forth, and on the enemy's timing, push out, push into mid. That's what I like to do personally. Or you could red into the right corner here. Or you could also maybe red behind table. But if you're all on side, you're just very vulnerable.
Oh my god, Revy's one.
I don't like that you push in here without giving any calls. We're just be-upping straight into side without telling your teammates that you're going to. I think what you could have done is maybe be-up back and forth a bit here again to build up more speed. And then on the countdown, push onto side. I think that would have been a lot better in this situation. For the first one, I have to say that playstyle wise, you're mostly doing good. He actually tries to do what an AK should do, for the most part. But I think the biggest issue for Beegs specifically is that he's lacking in mechanical skill. For example, in movement, I noticed that he kind of struggled to actually build up a lot of speed. And so that's what I'm gonna be going over later on how to actually build up more speed, how to actually get faster. And I think also just fundamental things like game sense, but those just come with playing more, I think. There's nothing really that you can specifically do to suddenly make you understand the game 10 times better.
Mid?
There's a lot of
Mid?
solo
Mid?
pushing as well.
Yeah.
I'm pushing you straight.
Good Mass.
Revy's
I think there we had some communication issues, I think. Beegs was calling mid here. A teammate even agreed, but still all of the teammates went side here while Beegs the only one going mid, so I don't know what happened here, but there was kind of a miscommunication. I think it's very important to always have a route you do as a team, a default push, a default thing you do at the beginning of the round. So even if you don't necessarily talk about it and call what you're gonna do, you know that your default route, and that's...
1 AK low.
I like that he goes into hut here, because there he gets a lot of cover. He sees that his team just spawned, his team is on the other side of the map. He gets a pick here, which is good. But sadly he peeks out and dies to the people spawning pillar. What I would have done in that scenario is I would have kept hiding in hut. I wouldn't have walked out, I wouldn't have exposed myself. And waited for my team. Because especially when you see like that all your teammates are across the map. Like you have King wrecked on 4th side, we have Willy on 3rd side, and you have Berserk on his way to 2nd side. Or on his way to mid. Then realistically the only place where the enemies can be is around pillar. So based on that alone you shouldn't just swing out of hut here.
Oh my god.
Now what you can do when you just spawn pillar is, instead of going left straight to side, you could go right, you could hold mid, because a lot of times people are gonna try to push pillar instantly instead of going to side and catching the person spawning off guard. That's actually a very common thing. Now of course knowing when that happens and when it's not gonna happen is entirely dependent on game sense, but it would be a lot safer if you at least went around the right side to side instead of just going straight to side.
Coming in from red.
I think here you should have peeked earlier. Like you hear shots coming from your right, you see kills being done in the kill feed. Now I don't know why your teammates don't call anyone going ramp. Or that could also be just miscommunication here. Or a lack of communication rather. But theoretically you could be able to tell yourself that people are close by just by listening to the shots and reading the kill feed. I think here you were a bit scared, like you were in a bad spot here, crouching next to fountain, but I think you should have rather tried getting out. Like you could have maybe crouched back into mid and then like tried building up speed again so you can push in for your team. Because the thing with AK is you should always try to have speed. You should, especially on pushes, you should always try to fly and you should always try to make space for your team. Especially for like your semi. Because in a scenario like this, you both just crouched away in front of side. And you're not really creating any space for your semi to peek off of. And if you, in this scenario, just flew, let's say, to the double stack, to the double box, then the enemies are going to be distracted, they're going to be looking at you. And then your semi gets space to actually just slow peek out of this and shoot the enemies.
Play in the corner, all the way in the corner.
I really like that he plays table here.
Ready? 3,
Yep.
2, 1, go.
I think here, instead of going close to side, instantly exposing yourself to all of them, I think you could maybe continue speeding forwards. Or maybe be up around table and then jump onto side. Or even better, jump onto table onto side. But if you just slowly jump out of this corner from like this, you're just exposed to like all of the people on side. Which, I mean, it's not horrible, you can do that, but you would get more value out of playing the bait more and actually like being faster and distracting the enemies more.
Alright, I'm just gonna push old real quick.
I think in this scenario you shouldn't push old. You see that there's only practically no time left on site. You're down 400. You already have a teammate pushing old, pushing from pillar, which is actually, if you push old here, if you push third side, that's actually the right way to do it, because when the enemies are gonna come out from the side, they're gonna go through mid. So right now they are facing you in mid. So you're basically fully exposed to them, they see you and you're gonna lose this fight. Almost guaranteed. But when you do what your teammate does, flooding from pillar, you're gonna be flanking from behind. So if you actually want to TDM this, you should always go from pillar in this scenario. And I think for you, you should have gone straight to side here. Because you are down 400, you already have someone pushing ult, even with no time remaining. Which, I mean, is fine if you get value out of it, if you get like 1 or 2 kills out of it. But going through mid here is wrong, I think. I think on last side especially, it's very hard to actually defend it when you don't have anyone offside. Your team can make some plays here, but it really depends on who wants to make the play. Really, any gun can do something here. If your ref or semi wants to get active, they should probably red in 3. And if your SMG or AK wants to get active, they should probably speed off and push off into them.
1, pick out.
Here I wanna say, once you learn how to actually go faster, how to control your movement better, you should not always push straight into side. I mean, this generally applies, but of course when you are not really that fast, when you don't have the fastest movement, it's gonna be very hard to do that. But you should like not go straight into side, like not straight onto the enemy, because then you're basically just coming at them in a straight line and they literally don't have to move the crosshair. What you should rather do is like go horizontal from them. So just like instead of going straight into side, you could have b-hopped around blue box, like jump to the right of blue box and then from blue box maybe into the left corner here, because then the AK would have had a very, very hard time tracking you in this scenario. So for this part, the first thing I want to try to teach you is how to actually move a bit faster. And basically what you have been doing is this. So fundamentally what I think you are doing wrong is that you are holding shift too early. So you are holding shift whenever you are going down, but when you press shift that quick already, you lose a lot of speed. So if you want to speed up more, you should tighten your shift timing. So you should only press shift whenever you are about to hit the ground. And also what also helps a lot is pressing space as quickly as possible. Like the second you touch the ground, the second you register that you touch the ground, you should press spacebar. And as you can see, this already makes me a lot faster. And realistically, if you master this, you're already good to go. This speed is all you need. But you could also be a bit more advanced. So what a lot of people do is they actually use ADS, aka the right mouse button with the gun while slide hopping. You kinda wanna press it whenever you press shift. So you always have shift and right click held at the same time, and you always let go of both when you press your spacebar. With this you can even go faster. Because when you ADS, when you scope down, your jumps get lower and you have less airtime. And because of that you can jump more frequently and gain a lot more speed. And another thing that not actually that many people do, but I personally use it, is scroll wheel jumping. So I do actually jump on spacebar, but when I actually want to really like gain speed, I use my scroll wheel. And as you can see, this actually is significantly faster than when I try to build speed with my spacebar. And if you want to bind it, all you gotta do is go into your settings, controls, edit, and just bind jump to both spacebar and scroll wheel. I wouldn't recommend binding your jump just to scroll wheel, because for most people, for me at least, when I scroll jump, I use my index finger. So I don't actually have a finger on my shoot button, so I can actually shoot while using my scroll wheel. So for that, I actually still use my spacebar. So I kinda just alternate in between. When I build up speed, when I push up, when I am not in combat, I use my scroll wheel. And when I know I'm about to get in combat, or I know somebody could be fighting me very soon, then I just use my spacebar. But actually learning to alternate between those two will take a lot of practice. And once you master your movement, once you improve your movement, you can actually level up your pushes quite a lot. For example, on third side, I think this one is the easiest. When you push in from mid, you can just jump on table and then jump onto side, jump back side, jump wherever really. But this jump is just very consistent, very easy to do and very effective. And really you can just experiment around yourself on pretty much any side on any map. If you can find a jump that you are confident on, you can get consistent on. The second side you could do something like this. Although I have to say this jump specifically is a lot harder. Like I would say not even I could do this jump consistently. But again, you can also always make your own variants of jumps. So instead of jumping over the boxes onto the double stack on side, you can just jump onto here and shoot into the right corner. This jump is also perfectly fine. Same thing for fourth side. You could be fancy, jump over blue box, jump like this. Or you could also just speed in like that. And for first side, there's not really much fancy movement stuff you can do. For first side, you just wanna speed in as fast as possible, really. You could do something like this, I guess, if you want to be fancy, but you don't have to. Another thing the AK specifically should be doing is pushing off side. So let's say you have control of first side, you're all stacking up. And instead of just standing around, stacking up, holding some angles, what the AK should be doing is building up speed and preparing to push off. Either on the timing where the enemies come in, which I don't think works that well on first side here. But what's way more effective is pushing offside and going somewhere else, like wrapping around, for example. On first side specifically here, you could just jump into con like this. You could push up ramp and hold fountain. You could push deeper into mid, hold this angle. Or if the enemy is already past that, you could flank them from behind through con or down ramp into pillar. Undergrowth is probably one of the maps with the most TDM potential and the most offside potential. For second side, you almost always want to have at least one teammate offside. And I'm not even talking about this area, I'm talking about deeper into the map. You have red spots like these that are fine, but still they're not really that effective. You still don't really get another angle in that's gonna help you win the fight. So you should always try to have a teammate be offside somewhere on the map here. And how you do that really fully depends on the situation. For third side, if you wanna hold, you should either go into this corner or generally play backside around here. Or what you can do is stack up a bit on side, build up speed, and then on the timing on the enemies, just push out here and catch someone off guard, or two even. But I'd recommend doing this mid push with somebody of your team. Preferably your FAMAS or SMG, if you have one on your team. And for fourth side, you have this classic tree spot. And for the push out, it's the same thing. You just build up speed, and right before the enemies are about to actually like be in your sight, be in your vision, and push in, you should push off and catch them off guard. Now where you go doesn't really matter. You can either go through mid or you can go elbow to the right here. Mostly people go to the right, but that's also where the enemies are gonna be for the most part. So if you wanna push out, again I'd recommend doing it with a teammate. Because if there actually are like 2 or 3 people on elbow here and you're alone fighting them, you're most likely not gonna get much value. You're most likely not even gonna get a kill. And yeah, these are about the core things I would be working on. And with nothing else to say, thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye!